What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talkin Sports with Jake. Hope we're all doing well. We got Ashton here with me today. How's it going, Ashton?
I'm doing pretty good.
So let's start with Aaron Rodgers. Yesterday, I covered this yesterday. The trade goes down, so Aaron Rodgers is finally a Jet. Thank the Lord. The saga is over. Jets get Rodgers the 15th pick and a 5th round pick in this year's draft. They send the 15th pick, so they do a swap there.
The 13th.
They
didn't trade the same pick.
Yeah, the Jets get and the 15th pick in the 5th round. Packers get the 13th pick in this year's draft. Pick 42 in this year's draft. They get a 6th rounder and a conditional second in 24 that could become a first if he plays 65% of the play, which is probably likely. And I would probably rather be likely because if he only plays 6% of the plays, that means something went wrong. So I think you and I have different opinions on it. So I want to hear what your take on this whole thing.
I'm also not the only person with this take. I talked to a Jets fan yesterday who also has the same feeling. This trade, and I've been saying it for a while. You've heard me say this a while. It gives me Brett Favre vibes. Like, yes, the offense for the Jets back in 2009 when they traded for Brett Favre went from a below-tier offense to a top 10 offense, but like they weren't that good that year. It gives me that vibe because they both were on a decline when they got traded. Also, they got traded on the same day, if you did not know. They're both
really?
Yes,
that's funny.
It was
that's
weird.
Funny.
And if there's a weird parallel connection between them, but you're just getting a QB on a decline. He's not that good anymore. He's not the same, obviously. Your receiving core is better because you have Garrett Wilson, but I don't know how much Garrett Wilson's gonna be intact if he doesn't get with Rodgers. Like Rodgers does not like young receivers. We known that. You can ask Christian Watson about that last year. He was screaming at him the whole time because Aaron Rodgers wants it a certain way. And the other thing with Rodgers, it's about him, not about anyone else. If that comes down to it, it's gonna mess up your team. I do think he's seriously gonna mess up this Jets franchise mentally, not like playing wise. Like in the offseason when he does I'm retiring. No, I'm not retiring. Oh, I'm retiring. No, I'm not retiring. And then I feel like next year is gonna be after this year is gonna be when he's gonna start seriously considering retirement. And he's not gonna let you know. And then you're gonna go into this draft thinking, hey, we may need to take a quarterback. Hey, we may not take a quarterback all behind the Rodgers. Then you guys are going to take a quarterback because you think he's retiring, and he's not going to retire. And he's going to mess up your whole draft where you guys could have took like a receiver, a corner, an all-line, whatever you needed at the time, and he could just mess you up sincerely in the first round.
So I talked about just like he has his worth, Rodgers. It's obvious. I think he's a bit soft. He's a prima donna. He's a bit of a diva. By a bit, you can take the bit out of that sentence. That being said,
he's pretty much a drama queen.
He's what?
He's a drama queen.
He's very, very dramatic. He loves the attention. Every year he says, "Oh yeah, I'll make this. I'm gonna make this a quick decision." 2 months later, we're like, "Dude, like, hello, are you still in your darkest retreat, or what's going on?" But he's not an MVP. He's not going to an MVP anymore. That's a fact. But he can still be a decent starter if you give him pieces around him. I think he has enough around him in New York. You got Breece Hall coming back, so he'll be able to run the ball. He has
that injury doesn't affect him.
Yeah, he appears to be has schedules. It appears his rehab's going well. You have Bam Knight there. He played well down the stretch last year, so they have enough depth in the running back room. I think you have a nice receiving core. You have a budding star in Garrett Wilson. You bring in an old friend now, Lazard. You bring a speed threat in Harmon. You still have Corey Davis there is okay. Conklin's a pretty good tight end, so you got some pieces there. You know, they still have that 15th pick. I think they go offensive line because you can't trust Mekhi Becton because he gets hurt every 5 seconds.
Hey, I heard he's in way better shape.
I do.
Did you see the picture?
I did. He's lost 50 pounds. He's down to 350. His draft was like 343, 346. So we'd like to see him lose a couple more pounds. But he is down. At one point he was pushing 400, which is just
that's probably what was causing his injuries.
I think it wasn't. He couldn't even finish the drills. Like, look, the fact that he ran on a 5'2" at 3 to 46 pounds is incredible. And like his size, he's a big guy. Like that's the whole thing with him. He's able to be this agile at that size, but pushing 400 pounds, that's just not healthy. I don't care if you're a normal person or a professional athlete or not even an offensive lineman. It doesn't matter. And he looks like he's in good shape, and he's finally seems like he's working hard, but I still don't trust him. He has not proven to be able to stay on the field, so I think it's off the tackle with that 15th pick. And you just re-sign Connor McGovern, your center, who had a pretty good year last year, his best year in the 3 years. The first year with New York, he kind of struggled, injuries. Last year, he was pretty good. You have Vera Tucker coming back, the young guard. So you have DeJuan Brown is coming back as well. He decided to come back for another year. He was solid last year. That was a good pickup late in free agency after Mekhi Becton blew his knee. Then he'll be taking a step in 7-on-7. So I think the little one should be a little bit better. They have a great defense. You know, he knows the offense. You know, he won 2 MVPs with Nathaniel Hackett. He's not that kind of player anymore, but he knows the offense. He won't have to learn a whole new playbook. So I think that on paper, this could work. And going back to Brett Favre, I think it's a little different because Favre had nothing left. He retired. I was like, nope, never mind. Played for Minnesota for a couple of years. Retired. Unretired again. And then went to the Jets. He had nothing left. Aaron Rodgers still is a pretty good quarterback. He's not going to give you 35 scores and 8 picks. I think he can give you 27 touchdowns. He won't turn the ball over. 3,800 yards. And with pieces around him, I think he can get you 10 wins.
He could, but also you're not in a division that's that easy anymore.
No.
Like when the Patriots are winning this, and I'm a Patriots fan, the AFC East was like the worst division in football.
Oh my God, it was terrible for years.
Now we're into a point where any of the 4 teams this year could win the division.
Yeah.
From New England to the Jets to the Dolphins, if Tua's brain does not go back into scrambled eggs. And then you get the Bills, who are the Buffalo Bills. I know they're on a regress, like they're not that good anymore, but like their window for the championship is closed.
They might be good enough to win the division, but they won't get past Mahomes or Burrow ever.
Nope. I also think Diggs is giving it one more year. I wouldn't be surprised. He even gets moved this offseason. I've been saying that.
He was frustrated at the end of the season for sure last year.
I don't think him and Allen are good friends anymore.
No,
like I don't think they like each
other. They've been very close for a long time. I mean, they had a little scuffle during the playoff game.
Like literally, Diggs left the stadium, and then I forgot who had to go grab him. I think it was Hines went and grabbed him, brought him back to the locker room, so you can hear talking like 5 minutes into the locker room. He left again, like with all of his stuff, like the jersey, the pads.
This was after the game.
This was after the game.
Wow!
Like the moment the game ended, he went to the locker room, grabbed all of his stuff, was leaving. One of the running backs grabbed him, brought him back from about to walk out of the stadium. Then he did it right again when he went back in the locker room. There's some real tension happening with Diggs in Buffalo, and I can see him getting moved.
Yeah, I think he'll get moved. I think he might get moved next year, unless the Bills, like maybe get to the Super Bowl. But I just don't see it happening. Kansas City is better than them. Cincinnati's better than them. Even Jacksonville is, you could argue, is on level playing field with them. So. And I don't even know if they win their division. I'm really not sure if they win the division. But going back to Rodgers, I think this will. I'm not sure what happens in 2024, but the Jets have not made the playoffs in 12 years. They have not had even an average quarterback since
Fitzpatrick
in 2015, and even that was a 1-year thing. And then
he almost made you guys to the playoffs.
He did, and in 2016, he thought the other team was the Jets at that point. But yeah, we have not had probably an average starter for more than 2 years, probably since, you might have to go back to Chad Pennington, which is like fifth at this point, 15 pushing 20 years ago. So I think to me, the trade is what it is. It was hard for me to say no to the trade. Also, they did not have another option.
Derek Carr was the better option for you guys because you guys were younger. You had more years with Carr than you do at Rodgers. You got 1, maybe 2. Because the reason I say maybe is because you don't know if he's going to retire.
Yeah, you might get 3-4 years out of Carr, but he's not. He's off the board. He's in New Orleans. Jimmy G's in Vegas. Gardner Minshew's in Indianapolis.
Will Jimmy G be in Vegas that long though?
I don't know.
With Mac Jones possibly being on the trade block.
I don't know what's going to happen, but at the end of the day, he's not available for the Jets right now. They did not have another option. They cannot run Zach Wilson out there. You just cannot do that. And it was either give up the picks for Rodgers, deal with his hardships, and hope that he can get you to 10 wins, which I do believe he can. I think he will. Or you run out Zach Wilson and you go 6-11, and it's the same old Jets. Salah gets fired, Joe Douglas gets fired, and you're back to the drawing board again. So, look, if you just don't make the playoffs, is Salah and Douglas gone anyway? Oh, yeah, they won't be allowed on the team bus. But I don't think that will happen, but only time will tell. All right, so let's move on.
Overrated.
We shall see. We shall see. Let's talk about the hockey playoffs first. So
Bruins are 1 win away from moving on to the second
Yes,
round, and it's gonna happen tonight.
the Boston Bruins, they are up 3-1 on Florida.
I don't know how we lost.
Yeah, I thought they would sweep them, but they should finish. I think they finished the job tonight. Florida.
See Kachuk try to fight Olmark.
Oh my, yeah. I'll look.
Olmark was ready to throw hands.
Yeah,
he took
he
off
was.
his helmet.
Yeah, because like Kachuk, I believe he had a. You know what? Not he had a cross check or a big hit in the game that the Bruins didn't like or something.
So what ended up happening was, I didn't see it live. I saw the clip of a video of it. They were trying to score, and Omar kicked the puck with his leg with the guard.
Who did?
Omar. He blocked the shot, but the way he blocked it, he kind of kicked it down the ice. And you just follow the players. Next thing you know, there's this big brawl happening with like 6 or 7 players from both teams. Like I think it was 2 Panthers were just going to get the puck.
Mm-hmm.
The rest of the team was fighting the Bruins.
Jeez.
And Omar's just chilling, and he comes over and he's just watching this fight going on while the rest are trying to split them all apart.
He's like, guys, popcorn.
Kachuk comes out of nowhere. He fell, like some Bruins player threw him to the ground, got him on the ground. He got up and he just smacks Omar. And Omar was all ready, but the ref pulled Kachuk out of the way before it could happen.
Yeah, so he probably had to come in. Omar had an incredible. He had an incredible game. Yeah, that game 4, I think, cemented the series because you had Taylor Hall had an incredible game, 2 goals, 2 assists. You had Omar had a big game, making 41 saves. That was
his goalie goal again.
Huh?
Won his goalie goal again.
Yeah, he's great to stick between him and Igor Shesterkin. Those are 2 great goalies who can handle the puck. Yeah, and I think this also it very rarely works when you go between 2 goalies. What were those eyes? I don't know what.
That's what I just read.
What? Oh God! All right, I cannot say what Ashton showed me, so I'm just gonna move on. But yeah, I thought when you go back and forth between goalies like Florida has, you very rarely can win. Maybe you get through a series, but
the Bruins, I think, the only team that can do that. They can switch goalies because they have 2 great goalies.
True, but also they've rolled Volmark this whole time, and I don't blame them. But you got Florida; they had Lyon in there. And now they went to Bobrovsky. Which, first of all, I don't understand. I mean, I know Sergei, he's not the same. He's a little older. He's definitely overpaid. His first 2 years in Florida was horrible. Was much better last year, and this year I think has been at least pretty good. But I don't understand why they went to Lyon the first few games. It didn't make sense. And you go to him now, and like that to me, that didn't make any sense. And look, they're very talented offensively, but they are not good defensively, and their goaltending is not good enough. This team is not built to win even a series, and they didn't exactly draw an easy matchup in the first round.
Nope. They're the best team in all of hockey.
So
probably the greatest team of all time if they win it all.
So if they do, they absolutely will. But I
think single season team.
Yeah, they broke the record for most wins in the regular season, most points in the regular season. Dave Pastrnak has 60 goals. If it wasn't for Connor McDavid being on another planet, he would have won an MVP. You had the best goalie in the league, maybe the best coach in the league.
And that's his first year in Boston.
Yeah, Jim Montgomery. Yeah, he was a guy who I talked about this a while back. He was in Dallas. He was actually doing a pretty good job, and then he had an alcohol problem. They fired him. He went to rehab, got his life together. Then he came back as an assistant, got this job, and he's taken.
Everyone realized he went to the worst city for alcoholics. He went to a city full of Irish people.
Yeah, it's not. They're not exactly a great.
When the team that plays in the same stadium is also an Irish style team, the Celtics. Because that's actually how you pronounce it.
Really?
Yes.
That's
funny. Not the Celtics. It's actually the Celtics, but we're all Americans, so we don't pronounce anything right.
No, we don't. Yeah, but yeah, so Boston, I think that they finish it off. The New York Islanders stay alive last night. They beat Carolina 3-2. Sorokin makes 34 saves. Pierre Engvall had to go on an assist, so this is one series. I thought Carolina would win in 5. I mean, I can't stand the Islanders. I don't think they're good. They have
I'd say the same thing about the Celtics. They should have won in 5, but Hurricanes are doing the same thing. So.
Also, Carolina, they're really not built. They don't have enough scoring for me. They are really good defensively, and Anthony Ranta had a good year in goal. Shout out to him and the next Ranger, but they don't have enough offense. That's why they lost to the Rangers last year. And I think it's why they lose to Rangers. I think the Rangers or the Devils beat them in the second round, to be honest. But Islanders survived their day. It's 3-2. I thought they were done. I have Islander fans who thought I know a lot of Islander fans who thought they were done on social media, family members, but they survived their day.
They're leaving. They're breathing.
They
Barely breathing, but they're breathing.
Yeah. So Dallas shuts up Minnesota 4-0. Second had a goal in the assists, 3 assists for Root Pence, 27 save shot for Jake Ottinger. Dallas up 3-2 on Minnesota. I had Minnesota in 7 as a very tight series.
This is the only team that Dallas fans can say this is possibly our year.
Yeah,
they actually winning playoff games.
The Mavericks fell apart.
We all know about the Cowgirls, but
oh god, they'll make the playoff. They won't go far.
Yeah, but
yeah, and
Dallas over the Wild.
And the Wild every year. I think this team can make a run, and they lose in the first or second round. They drive me nuts. Edmonton beats the Kings 6-3. 2 assists for Darnell Nurse. 2 goals for Nick Bustad. What are you singing? Edmonton beats the Kings 6-3. They go up 4-2. I don't know what this guy's doing over here. I don't know.
Here comes Jack Hughes.
That's not even close to the right team.
No.
Okay.
I was just talking about your Rangers losing to Jack Hughes.
Yeah, 2-2. Go back to Prudential. Big game. I think it's tonight, right?
I think so. Let me check.
It should be tonight. I don't know
because the Bruins play tonight. I think you guys play tonight too.
Why did they need extra travel? They went from Manhattan to Jersey.
Oh no, you guys don't play.
What?
You play tomorrow.
Why?
7:30.
Went from Manhattan to Jersey.
Yeah, tonight is Florida and
Is that
Bruins.
a 3-hour drive? I mean, with New York City traffic for like 8 hours.
And then you get Seattle and Colorado.
Ooh, that's been a phenomenal series.
2-2.
That's been a phenomenal series.
I loved Seattle's name.
Yes, I do.
I absolutely love the Kraken's name.
The management team there is killing it. Give them a raise, and that's been a phenomenal
and their logo
series.
is sick.
It is.
It's an
and their
S,
jerseys are beautiful too.
Like, why can't teams that like come in these leagues like come up with names like the Kraken? They always come up with some generic, ironic name that doesn't even make any sense. Like next, it's gonna be like the Chicago Cheeseburgers. So it's gonna be like a new team. That makes no sense.
Cheeseburgers.
I'm just pulling something random. Surprised that no one is named after a burger because that's like the most main food in America. So,
like, I get Knicks Cavs having 2 days in between because you're going from Manhattan to Cleveland, Ohio, but you're going from Manhattan to New Jersey. I mean, I know New York City traffic might take 8 hours, but like, you don't need the series should not take 2 weeks. Come on. Anyway,
also the Kings are done. Oilers are gonna win that series in 6.
Yeah, I had Edmonton in 7. I think that's what's gonna happen. And onto the NBA plan before we go. So
I got something for you. So we all know about the Bucks Miami series. We know there's a former Miami player on the Bucks named Myles Leonard. He decided to celebrate a 3-pointer by one of the Miami Heat players. So there goes Caleb Martin. Splash.
What?
Myles Leonard just gets up and starts celebrating. Bro forgot what team he plays for.
So the video that asked you to show me, a Heat player at 3 and Myles Leonard was on the end of the Bucks bench celebrating. He used to play for the Heat.
He's on the Bucks.
Oh my god. I mean, I don't know why he's even in the league after what he did.
Myles Leonard forgot he didn't play for the Miami Heat anymore. I gotta see these comments. That's such an NBC thing to do.
Oh my god.
What a nice gentleman. I'm sure he respects people when he plays COD.
Oh. That's what I was referring to. I'm not even going to say. I'm not even going to go for it. You all know what happened.
Supporting the homie.
Oh, God.
Yeah, I was in the back looking at the trade packages.
Yeah, he's getting traded.
Man is living the villain arc as we speak. His parlay cleared.
Oh, my God. You got me.
He's not celebrating the Heat hitting 3. He's calling out the Bucks having a 2-for-1 opportunity. No, he's not.
He's really not.
Dude balled out from Miami was going to be Heatle for life until he got wrongfully kicked out of the league.
Oh, God.
Wrongfully?
Wrongfully? Dude used a slur on freaking live stream.
Anti-Semitic slur too.
Exactly. Anyway, moving on. So your Starbucks took a loss. Hawks win 119
Trey Young, you're the most overrated player. Don't act like you did anything. That was the luckiest shine your whole life. Guess what? In Atlanta, when you get blown out on your home court, which now I'm kind of happy about, I hope you go crying to your locker room.
Yeah, Hawks won 117. I do think Trey's overrated, but he did have a big game. 38 points, 13 assists. Had a big deep three in the final seconds to win that game. Jaylen Brown, 35-7 in the loss.
MVP.
A big game for Jaylen Brown. So game 6 will be in Atlanta. So Atlanta is hanging on.
This series is over though. They're gonna lose Friday.
I mean, I think
they're gonna lose Thursday night. You don't piss off Boston. We saw that happen. They won game 3 and then they get obliterated game 4.
Yeah.
And now they won game 5. They're gonna get obliterated game 6.
I think Boston win, but if Atlanta finds a way, game 10, anything happens. Imagine if we have the top 2 teams in the NBA lose in the first round. That'll be crazy. Nuggets beat the Timberwolves 112-109.
Really surprised.
Jamal had 35, 28, 17, and 12 from Jokic, 29 9 from Ant. That series is over. Denver wins in 5 games, and so they move on. Huh?
It's a Gobert curse. Anything Gobert is on, they don't do crap in the playoffs. And Donovan Mitchell. Same thing I can say about Donovan Mitchell. Yeah. They just can't win in the playoffs.
Well, yeah, he was on same thing did with the Utah Jazz, yeah.
And Donovan's on a better team than he was in Utah. He's got Garland, he's got Okoro. Granted, Okoro can't score an offense, but he's got Mobley, he's got Allen, he got who's the other white dude on the bench? I can't think of his name.
That's a very broad description there.
Seti.
He's not like them.
They're solid.
Yeah.
And they were great in the regular season. Like if you look this before the series started, the Knicks should have been obliterated by this Cavs.
Oh,
the way the Cavs are playing.
Cavs should won 6 on paper.
Like I could have saw 5 games out of the series, but and now it's looking like it's the other way around. And as the rate it's looking like it's gonna be not Kings. Jesus Christ. Kings better beat the Warriors tonight.
They better.
That's all I gotta say. It's about to set up an Eastern Conference Finals matchup between the Celtics versus the winner of the Knicks Heat series. Because that could go either way. The way the Heat are being the Bucks, I would not be surprised they could do that against the Knicks. They are somehow a team that everyone thought was gonna be to a team that, okay, they may make a run. They may make a run. They won't make it past the Eastern Conference Finals, but they could make a run, especially when you have 2 young teams playing at the 4 and 5.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that I'm taking the Knicks, but I'm really worried about Jimmy Butler. That dude can go. I would not be surprised if he averaged 50 points a game that series.
Because both the Bucks and Knicks match up poorly too. The Heat. The only team that's really built to beat the Heat is mostly Boston, just because they have 2 superstars playing at the same time. Whereas the Knicks, you're trying to figure out who your 2 superstars are. It's RJ Barrett, who is it Julius Randle? Is it Quickly is gonna be it?
I ain't calling RJ a superstar either.
No, but like he's supposed to be what your superstar is supposed to be. He's your main guy. He's your number 1 option. But who's the second guy?
Well,
you need
someone. The number 1 option is Jalen Brunson. I love that man.
But then, like, after but do you want Brunson to be your true number 1? Especially in a league that's dominated by wings. Think about Luka's a wing. He's just playing the point guard spot. He's he's what, 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah.
And he can score. Tatum, he's taking the league by storm. Giannis is taking the league by storm. Yeah. Kawhi when he's healthy. LeBron. The only point guards I can think of that are your really number 1 options are your Curry and your Lillard. Yeah. Because they're just different breeds. I don't know what they're on. They are smoking something.
Yeah, they are.
They're on a little smoke sesh. And then you got Jokic and Embiid as your 2 main centers that are the stars. Jimmy Butler should not really be a number 1, but he's very good to be a number 1.
In the playoff,
I don't know what the hell he's on.
Freaking Michael Jordan.
I think they need drug testing. God,
he is insane in the playoffs.
Nah, he doesn't turn into Jordan. He turns into Jesus Christ. He's the Lord and Savior himself.
He really is. But yeah, going back, so the Nuggets win in 5, and hear me out. I think Minnesota should trade Karl-Anthony Towns.
Trade him to Boston. We'll give you Luke Cornett, the GOAT. We'll give you Blake Griffin. And we'll give you our first. Not this year because it's.
Cornette, Blake Griffin first.
And then we'll give you our first next year because we don't have a first this year because we gave that for Brogdon. Because we didn't have a first last year because we gave that for White with a trade with Josh Richardson. Makes no sense. I don't know who the. And I don't even know how the heck we got Brogdon for the deal we gave out. Tice, Neesmith, some 3 bums from Walmart, and the first round pick. I don't know how that managed to go through, but
It's one of those like 2K trades. Like, oh my god, it worked!
It's like a 2K with all the sliders down.
Yeah, but that was a good trade. But yeah, going back to Towns, he's a great scoring big man. He can shoot the 3. He can give you 30 every night. He can rebound, but he's horrible defensively.
That's why I put Rob Williams next to him.
Yeah,
That's what they brought Robin for.
Gobert.
Yeah.
That's what they brought him in for. And by that trade is one of the worst trades in the history of the NBA. That trade was a stupid deal.
That was all around.
That did not work. It already didn't work. I don't care if it's only been 1 year. That experiment is kaput. That did not work. Break them up. This is not going to work. Trade Towns. He slows you down. I don't think any team he's on wins a ring because he slows you down on offense. He might give you 30 and 10, but he's going to slow you down, and he might give you 30, but he's going to give 20, but he's going to give up 25. So I think you move him, get back a couple of young pieces, a couple of picks, maybe recoup some of the assets you gave up for Gobert, and you go from there. I think that's the best option at this point.
Yep. And then the Clippers Suns. Was it really that surprising when the Clippers had basically just Russell Westbrook, who has been playing his minds
yes,
out?
Yes, he has been playing. He had a very good series.
You can't just have one player playing KD, Booker, and Chris Paul.
Yeah, Suns win 136 to 130. Crazy game. Suns were up big in the fourth. Clippers came all the way back. Suns hang on. Devin Booker 47, 8, and 10. Big series for him. KD adds 31. Suns win that series in 5. And Kawhi, I talked about this last week. He's so annoying. He infuriates me. He is such a shame. He could have been an all-time great. 2-time Finals MVP. When he's on the floor, he's the best 2-way player in the league. Assassin. He's an assassin, can score, can shoot, amazing defender. He broke 2 dynasties, but he just cannot stay on the court. Now he's got a torn meniscus. It really is a shame.
It is. It's sad. I thought the Clippers were going to do something this year.
And by the way, Kawhi and PG, it's over.
Yep.
Not going to work. Break them up. I think it's time to break one of those 2 up. It's just not going to work. They both can't stay on the floor. They're not going to win championship together. They need to build around them. They haven't built around those 2 properly. They don't have the assets to because they paid Kawhi so much. They're paying Paul George even more, and they give up so much for Paul George. They just don't have the assets to. Kind of reminds me when the next trade for Carmelo Anthony. Yes, they got at the time a top 10 player in the league, and Carmelo was amazing, but they gave up so much for him. They didn't have enough round, and they gave up so much.
2 years after you trade for him, they were like looking to trade him.
A couple years later, because they were like, they realized this team sucks. They're like, what do we do? Like,
but it is the Knicks.
True.
They do make boneheaded decisions.
But yeah,
they are the biggest market.
They gave up a first round pick for Andrea Bargnani. Like,
I forgot you drafted that man.
Well, they even drafted him. Toronto drafted him first overall. He was horrible.
Oh yeah, then you guys acquired him.
And they were like, you know what? Let's trade 4 players in the first for this guy. What? No. But if Carmelo off Carmelo, they got Carmelo. And look, Carmelo was worth what they gave up, but they gave up so much they had nothing left. It was Carmelo, and the next best player was like Jason Kidd, who was like 50 years old. Couldn't even get up and down.
100 years old, Jason Kidd.
He was Jason Kidd who was out, who could still pass, but he couldn't even lift his arms above his head anymore. So like there was just nothing around him, and that's why then they're out of the second round because they just didn't build around him. They just didn't have the assets to do so because they gave up so many picks for him, and basically give all your depth for him. And that's caused some more thing here.
Did you see? New England Patriots wide receiver Kendrick Bourne says he was drug tested by the NFL after posting a photo of himself working out on IG.
That's so funny.
Like this is the post he put, one of the posts from his post on Instagram.
He does look jacked. Wow.
He got drug tested by the NFL. So we're just starting to test anyone for the moment they look because they're working out, like because they lift weights for the summer, like in the off season they just want to get bigger. Who's next? Like Tom Brady, even though he's out of the league. to get drug tested for working out.
Drug tested in the league.
Blaine Gabbert when he was throwing the football to Element and Gronk on the beach.
They're going to drug test Brady for like a skinny Brady for throwing on the beach with his friends.
Yep.
Anyway, let's get to the star of the show, mock draft. So Ashton and I both did mock draft, and we are going to compare picks. We're going to go pick for pick. This is going to be a lot of fun. So, Ashton, you go first.
So, with the Panthers, I'm going to go with what the front office wants, not what Frank Wright wants. I think they should go with the coach wants, but they never go what the coach ever wants. It's always front office and owners. So, with the first overall pick, they're going to take the obvious choice, Bryce Young, who I don't think is going to be that great in the NFL. I also heard rumors about Will Levis. Will Levis to one is a possibility.
The sports books are saying Will Levis.
So, I have them taking Bryce Young with the first pick, and I know
I do as well. With Bryce Young, I think he's got a lot of potential. I think he's got a very good arm, and he hasn't turned him all over. He's also undersized. I don't want to meet anyone for being undersized. I mean, Drew Brees was a smaller quarterback, and he's one of the all-time greats. But Drew Brees is also a bit of a different animal. So Carolina, I think they go with Bryce Young. I just think, look, like, I'm not sure if I would do that, but I think with mock drafts, you gotta try to say what you think will happen. That's just what I think will happen.
Yep. Who do you have for number 2?
I have him taking C.J. Stroud, and here's why. So,
you're gonna be surprised by my pick then.
Oh boy. So I've heard the Texans might take Stroud. I heard they might take Anthony Richardson. I heard they might not take a quarterback at all, and if so, I might cry. They have to take a quarterback. You're gonna trust Davis Mills in his giraffe neck. But I think if you look at the tape, not the numbers, or when they went to school, who we played.
Cognition test.
Or what?
The cognition test. CJ Stroud got 18 on it.
The whole IQ test that they're bitching about with him, the 40 times stuff. If they look at the tape, they will see CJ Stroud is better than Anthony Richardson. They need a quarterback. He's my quarterback 1, and I think they take him.
For the second overall pick, I have the Houston Texans selecting Will Anderson Jr.
Will Anderson!
I heard rumors they might go defense if they don't get the quarterback that they want. And the quarterback they want is Bryce Young. So they might not take a quarterback this year, or they might take one in the second round. And if they're bad, they have a chance of getting Caleb Williams next year, who's supposed to be the next Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Which could be a very smart decision on their part.
Yeah, so this is the thing. So Will Anderson is probably the best player in this draft. He's the safest player in this draft. He's like probably the most likely to not bust. No one will argue that taking Williams second overall is a reach by any means. If the Bears had the first pick, we'd probably known months ago that he was going number 1. That being said, they need a quarterback. You never know. They also have a 12th pick. Maybe do you move up from 12 and maybe they're all right. Let's get the best player in this draft as stud edge, which they need. And then maybe you move into the top 7 and you get your quarterback there, or maybe they wait till the quarterback class will be better next year. Caleb Williams looks insane. You got Drake May coming out, and then there's some other guys coming out too. Maybe I think, all right, they'll suck again. They'll go 4-13. They'll have a top 3 pick again, and maybe they get their guy next year.
Yep.
But I think they take Stroud, but I'm hearing they might not take a quarterback. I don't know what's going to happen. But
this is where I have my blockbuster.
All right, so disclaimer: I have a lot of trades. In my lock.
I got 2. I had 2 trades. I had 3, but the Eagles would not trade the pick away. I gave them like the world for this pick for the team I was trying to trade up for, or trade back into the first 4, and they just on both teams. So this trade should just go through. But no. So I have 2 trades. I'll say the third one, I'm going to put the team that I wanted to pick. But
yeah,
that's my little disclaimer.
I technically have 6 in the database, but 1 wouldn't go through. I just made a mental note. This team is picking that, not this team. But all right.
So
what is about to happen, I do not agree with. But this draft is going to be crazy.
So
this first round is going to be insane.
So you had a trade at 3 as well.
I did.
Who do you have?
I have the Tennessee Titans moving up.
All right.
To get the 3rd pick. They give up. I haven't given them like 11, 4. round pick in like the first next year or something like that. I have the Titans taking Will Levis.
Ooh.
Look, I don't think Will Levis is very good. I think he's got a great arm, but I don't think he's accurate. I don't think he's very good. But I just think this draft is going to be crazy. I heard the Titans like Levis. I don't think they should do it, but I think they might. But I think this draft's going to be crazy, so I got a little wild. The Will Levis, Mr. Mayo and his coffee, is in Tennessee.
So, I have the same team trading up.
Okay.
But this one's more of a blockbuster.
Okay.
So, in order to get this deal done, they get 3, and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
They trade the 11th pick, next year's first, this year's third, this year's fourth, and running back Derrick Henry.
What?
Yes. They want to get the deal done, and with the 3rd overall pick, they select C.J. Stroud, the quarterback out of Ohio State.
Wow.
They got the deal done. The best offer. I was considering maybe adding Buda Baker into the trade. There was a small instant I wanted to maybe do a player swap into it, but I decided to back out because I felt that would be too much for the Cardinals to give up to get that package. Because in order for the Titans to move up, they have to give a big package. And instead of giving up a ton of picks, they got a player that doesn't really want to be there. Chance to get rid of him. And it's
okay,
bad.
So on our way to this podcast week, Ashton told me I have a blockbuster trade.
And that's the blockbuster.
I had a feeling it was a trade at the 3rd pick. I had a feeling it was the Titans moving up, but I did not expect that. I thought maybe it was like a couple, maybe like 2 firsts and Ryan Tannehill or something.
We also thought I could have chose D-Hop too. I could have chose D-Hop as well.
But and Derrick Henry goes to Arizona. Oh my God.
James Conner and Derrick Henry is a running back trio.
That's crazy. All right.
And I got them taking C.J. Stroud.
Wow. I mean, that's a great pick.
Because obviously I passed on quarterback number 2. So
that's a great pick. I think if he's available on Titans, they should do that. But yeah, so that is crazy.
Whoa, Chase Young. Before we continue, Chase Young got his 5th year declined.
Really?
Yep.
I mean,
they after Burrow and Justin Jefferson got theirs accepted because that happened yesterday. No one really reported
that.
That
is crazy.
2 obvious moves yesterday, but Chase Young, I thought they would actually. I heard he's available for trade at the draft. So
really,
yep.
I mean, when he's on the field, he was defensive rookie of the year. You just can't stay healthy.
Yep.
Wow, that's some big news.
All right, we'll go to the 4th pick.
Indianapolis Colts. I have been taking quarterback Anthony Richardson out of Florida.
That's what I got.
Yeah, for him, I know you love him. I'm split. I
still think they could go defense here. I think they could also pass upon quarterback.
Yeah.
It would be a cool thing to do. They'll take like cornerback Christian Gonzalez, which I've seen plenty of mock drafts having them take. So I don't know. This one is up in the air for quarterback for me, but I just chose Anthony Richardson because I think that's the move they should go. But it is the Colts, and they decide to blow everyone out of the water with their picks. So
I think it depends. If Jim Irsay has less than 2 drinks in him, I think they go with Richardson. If he has like more than 2 drinks in him, I think they might do something else. He might be like, take the best corner in the draft. The guy from Oregon. What's his name again? Joey Porter? Oh no, that's the wrong player. You never know with Jim Irsay. But I think of Anthony Richardson. If I'm a GM, I'm like, okay, I don't want to take him and have him be out of the league in 5 years, but I also don't want to pass on him and then him kill me for the next 10. So he's a boomer bust. We all know the physical tools are there. The combination of size and speed. You know, I think his numbers are definitely a little flawed. They don't look good, but he had not a lot around him in Florida. His receivers were terrible. So I think he's a lot more accurate than what he showed in college. And he's got a much better arm than what he showed in college. I think he's got potential to be really good. I think that's where the Colts go.
Yep. Who's your 5th?
Seattle Seahawks. I have been taking. This is where I have Will Anderson going.
You want to know who I have?
Who?
Jalen Carter. They are high on him, and so I could see them taking him at 5 because I don't think he makes it past 10.
We actually have a mic request, Pat Cast, who is on Twitter. I'm on Twitter Spaces. He actually has a great show, Pat Cast, and he's also a Patriots fan. He's all a Baltimore just like you. So I'm going to invite him on.
Of course.
And so he should be coming on pretty soon. But look, Jalen Carr, talent-wise. So
wait, did you say I'm out of my mind or he's out of his mind?
He says, "Wait, Jake, you're out of your mind." With what? With what?
Okay. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. I'm sitting back, it's a nice day, doing my thing, and I'm hearing about all these trades.
I don't think they should do it. I think something crazy will happen.
He's gonna think I'm crazy with one of my things.
You're trying to manifest into existence. I gotta tell you something. I don't think all the quarterbacks are getting picked in the first 5.
No?
My draft doesn't have the 5th quarterback until later in the draft, so.
Yeah, my 5th goes later in the first round, yeah.
You'll be surprised with team selection.
But you know why I say that? Because I heard, and you know me, I got my ear on the ground.
Oh, yeah.
Eyes on the screen.
Are you making something?
Yeah, Pat, what are you making?
Don't worry about it.
He's making macaroni and cheese in the microwave.
According to a couple of GMs, and let me get your take on this.
Okay.
All right.
This draft class is overrated.
Really?
And we're gonna
The
get
echo.
and we're gonna get much better quarterback talent next year.
Caleb Williams.
I do think the quarterback class is better next year, yes. Yeah, I think we definitely get this. The quarterbacks are definitely better than.
The type of talent that there is. If I'm a team thinking about a bridge quarterback versus a long-term quarterback,
Mac Jones.
I'm not necessarily going to pull the trigger on drafting a QB this year if I know that there may be someone better next year. Now, I know that's not what every fan base wants to hear.
Right.
Because it's a quarterback-needy league. And I get that. Listen, teams like Seattle need a QB. Teams like, Atlanta, Texans, whatever. You can throw any other team in the mix. I don't blame a general manager this year if they take one look at this draft class and go, I mean, are we sure? Are we sure Bryce Young is the number 1 overall pick? Like,
Justin
that's all I'm
must go
saying.
away.
Like, this quarterback class might be overrated, Jake.
I see what you're saying. I do think the class is better next year. And I mean, look, we thought in 2015 we thought we had Jameis and Mariota. We thought this class was gonna be incredible, and look, they both turned out to not be very good. And so anything could happen. It might be overrated. I have my issues with Bryce Young. I have my issues I have my issues with Anthony Richardson. I don't like Will Levis. Like I said, I don't think he should go 3rd overall, but I think the Titans are gonna do something wacky because they just be like that. I like Stroud. I actually like Hendon Hooker as well, but I have a lot. I have my warts with this class as well. Not gonna lie.
All right.
No, the Titans, it was reported yesterday, they've lost faith in Willis.
I don't blame him. He's not good.
You wasted a 3rd round pick on a guy that's not even going to be a starting quarterback.
Yeah.
Nor any quarterback in last year's draft should be a starter. Sorry, Pittsburgh fans. Kenny Pickett's not the guy.
I don't think he is either.
The only the last decent QB draft we had was literally 2021 because Mills had a good year his rookie year. Mac was the best out of all of them his rookie year. And then Trevor Lawrence.
Yeah.
He spread out into the scene last year.
Trey Lance, we don't really know yet.
Trey Lance is going to be a boss.
Zach
Wilson is gone.
Boss. He's too good as gone. And then was there somebody else?
Fields. And Fields has no arm talent to go with it.
I think Fields has potential to be very good.
Nah.
Here's what I want to know. When you guys touched on this.
Okay.
Because I heard the exact same thing over the radio yesterday, and nobody has yet to give a definitive answer. And I think there's something that they know that we don't know.
Okay.
And what's that?
Why is Levis's prop bet for the overall pick gone up?
There's some kind of thing with his talent. Like the only team he's actually blown away though in his meetings is the Patriots. Is the only team that he's managed to get people to bring his eyes on. But I think the Panthers also see the talent that the Patriots are seeing, and that's why I think he has the possibility of going 1. But like for me, I think he falls. I think he falls to near 20. I think he's one of the last picks in the teens, the early 20s, is that's where he gets selected. But I think it's just the talent he has, like the arm strength he has, the athleticism he has. He's a smart player. He's not gonna make a dumb decision. He's just raw. Him and Richardson have the talents to be the best quarterbacks in this draft, but they're just raw. You gotta get a good coach that can develop a quarterback, a good offensive minded coach too. So like if Will Levis ended up in like San Fran, book him down to probably winning a Super Bowl, because Jake's heard me say this, and I said if Mac Jones got drafted by the Niners, he would at least have one Super Bowl win in his books already.
You know what? I actually would agree with that.
Because for me, like, I met Mac Jones. I personally
Yeah,
met him.
I'm pretty sure you two are at the same thing.
Yes, I went to the Dick's Sporting Goods at Natick and met him then. But I didn't know about you until today, so I just followed you on Twitter, by the way. Yeah, I believe in Mac. Like, I think he's a franchise guy, but possibly a franchise guy. But I would not be surprised if he does get moved next year. I don't know if you're with me, but I'm also on the fire Bill Belichick train. I do sincerely think this is his last year in New England.
We got two Pats fans on the other end of the spectrum.
Because
I see on this.
Kraft wants to win a Super Bowl, but he doesn't want to win one this year. Obviously, if he could win one this year, he would take it. But Kraft wants Bill to win a playoff game, and I don't think we even make the playoffs this year. And if we do, I don't think we win a playoff game. And Kraft's gonna be done with Bill. I think Kraft's been done with Bill for a while now. It's just been hard to move off of it.
When you say a while, do you mean
since Brady left? I think he's been done with since 2020. Okay. But obviously, I think he gave him the benefit of the doubt 2020.
Yeah,
that okay, the team we didn't have enough money.
Year for them.
We didn't have enough money to get any pieces. We had a bad year. Okay,
2021.
Finally, Belichick had to do something. We got a quarterback. Then you know what Kraft does? He takes his GM rights away. He got a say in what we do, but I think Matt Groh makes all the moves now, right? Because last year's draft was was all not Belichick type picks. Belichick would have not taken Strange. Belichick would have took Strange later if he was there. But obviously, you had taken the first round because he was gone by the Niners pick in the first round. You wouldn't have taken Tyquan Thornton because he'll never take a receiver.
I mean, I don't think that's a bad pick, though.
Tyquan Thornton's going to be fine. I have faith. He's not going to be a wide receiver 1, but he's going to be a very good wide receiver 2. That, and also you didn't have an offense coordinator. We had pencil face for a year. That I also think really ticked off Kraft, and that's why I think he's. That's why I think Kraft.
That you got to put up Bill.
Kraft has put Belichick on a hot seat. I think he's been on a hot seat since last year. Yeah. But last year, since stuff happened, he kind of is like, okay. But now we brought in Bill O'Brien. Bill O'Brien is a better OC than we had since Bill O'Brien. He's been the best. He's better than McDaniels. He's a smarter mind. He's more of a trick guy. He's gonna make his offense be better. I think Mac's gonna be better. He's brought in weapons. I like the move for Gesicki. I hope they re-sign him. I want to let Hunter Henry go and keep Gesicki. Even though I know he has not played a snap, I've been saying we should have signed him.
He fits the Patriots.
I called the signing.
You did call the signing.
I said two of the moves the Patriots should have done was sign Chosen Anderson and sign Gesicki, and we did one of it, and it was 2 days before Gesicki signed. So for me, I think they already know who they want as head coach in New England, and they want to get it done as soon as possible because they know he may leave if we keep Belichick, and that's Gerard Mayo.
So here's my take on that, and I want to start from the beginning because you brought up since Brady.
Yes.
As Patriots fans, as NFL fans, as sports fans, we got to stop rewriting history when it comes to how Tom Brady left the New England Patriots.
Yeah.
Like for me, I don't think so. I think the original tick was when Belichick tried to trade Brady.
Yeah.
In 2017.
Absolutely. I definitely agree.
That started to tick. Then Brady left, right? Which obviously Kraft did not like. Kraft did not like Brady leaving. That was all on Belichick, right? So Kraft went, okay, Belichick, what are you going to do? Obviously, we didn't have the money, because Brady had like a 20 million cap hit that kind of screwed us over. I forgot something hit with Brady leaving, which obviously is not the issue with Belichick and Kraft. Obviously, it was originally the trade. Then 2020 was obviously an underwhelming season. I did not like watching that season. I watched every game wanting to shoot myself because Cam Newton could not throw a ball. At one point, I wanted Jarrett Stidham to be our starting quarterback. Yes, Jarrett Stidham. And then we drafted Mac. We brought in pieces. Even our 10-7 season, I thought we were mediocre. I know we had that nice 8-game stretch of a win streak where we beat teams like Buffalo, Cleveland when they were good that year. We've beaten good teams in that stretch. The number 1 seed Titans, we took the 1 seed from them.
Yeah.
But at one point, I was like, this team isn't going to win anything. And then we showed that in the playoffs where we couldn't even stop Josh Allen. They didn't punt that game. And then last year,
dominated.
we got worse. We managed to get worse with a better roster on paper. Like, Devontae Parker was a huge move for us because we didn't have that guy down.
No, he wasn't.
For us, for our receiving core. Because we had no guy who could threaten you down the field. At least Parker could do that. He can catch the 50-50 ball. That's what N'Keal Harry was supposed to be, but also he turned out to be the worst wide receiver in NFL history. Managed to draft that.
So bad.
I was high on Devontae when they traded for him, but then on retrospect, you had to ask yourself why the Dolphins were so willing to let him go for a bag of chips.
Well, they brought in Tyreek Hill, which I think, in my opinion, they should have kept Parker. He's better than Cedric Wilson by a mile. And Parker, even though he played, like, he got hurt for a few games because he had the concussion that the league almost let him play in. By the way, the NFL has horrible concussions. He had a pretty good year. Like, it wasn't the best season he's had, obviously. Offense wasn't the same, but he wasn't horrible. He wasn't. Him and Myers were only 2 reliable wide receivers because Kendrick Bourne didn't play. And when he played, he had a good game.
Put into that, though, because I think you brought up a really good point, and I think that I can even echo that because I know fans feel the same way. How much stock do we put into last season? Because listen, we're in the Mac Jones era of the New England Patriots, be it only a 2-year sample size, and I think it's only fair to him that we call it a sample size because
we saw one good year where he made the Pro Bowl, even though I know he was a replacement. And then last year, I give him the benefit of the doubt that it's Patricia. Like, but the first 3 games was him. That was all Mac. He wasn't making right decisions. And then when he started to make the right decisions, that's when you saw the offense go off. And I was like, okay, that's the play calling. And then the 1 week they got it all clicked was week 12 against the Vikings. They clicked on all levels. The play calling was great. Mac had his best game, but our defense's best teams gave it up.
I just take a step back and look at it in retrospect because I think that you're on 2 sides of the Patriots as a fan base right now. You're either on the side of you take everything that happened last season and say it was the decision making of Bill Belichick to put a defensive guy in an offensive coordinator position, which hurts significantly the development of what was your second-year quarterback coming into the National Football League with the same kind of pieces, roughly, same receiving core. You brought in, year 2, Ramondre Stevenson, a couple new running backs, et cetera, et cetera. But overall, not a lot of new faces on the roster, so to speak. You could argue that, Marcus Jones was probably the biggest draft piece we got last year, and I think there's
And
a good
Jack.
argument for that.
Jack was
And
pretty
Jack
good.
Jones.
Yeah.
They're 2 good
hard.
corners. They're going to be good in this league.
So you're either on the side of, okay, we look at that last season and say that truly doesn't define the player that Mac Jones is on this roster, or you're on the side of this is who Mac Jones was always going to be regardless of whoever was calling the plays. And while they've made moves this offseason that I have liked and moves I don't like.
Let me ask you this. Your thoughts on Jacoby leaving? I liked it.
I was disappointed because I know that he was his most. This isn't the same thing. He kind of reminded me of Edelman, just quarterback wide receiver relationship, so to speak. Like,
True.
these guys just clicked on all cylinders. He was a reliable 3rd down guy. He was fast. He was small. Ironically, he was also a quarterback turned wide receiver, but I was disappointed because then you look at
I
what they
think
gave
I think
Juju
becoming a receiver was the
Smith-Schuster.
right move.
Yeah, they gave Juju a lot of money.
Well, actually,
I didn't
that
want to see him go.
that was a lateral.
And I'll tell you guys this: I was at the pro shop
Well, I don't know what that was.
a couple of days after they released Jacoby, right?
Mm.
You know how they got those jerseys that are like the short, the really short sleeve that like you look like you're the
Yeah.
football guy, like
Yeah.
all like stitched, perfect $300 worth jerseys.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're what, like 50?
They had Jacoby's and Damian Harris's for $99.
Yep.
I was bummed. I didn't want to see him go. I wanted them to bring him back. He was Mac's most reliable wide receiver. I don't know if Juju's really an upgrade.
Do you want to
I
hear?
don't know that.
You want to hear my take on it?
Yeah,
So,
of course.
because I like Jacoby, obviously. I told my dad since
he had
day
a good year
one
last
when
year.
we signed him as an undrafted free agent, he had a good preseason, made the roster. I said that kid's gonna be something, and he turned out to be something. But in all honesty, he didn't threaten you. Like I wasn't like no team was scared of Jacoby because he couldn't get yards after the catch. He was a great guy, like great hands guy, like he has good hands. But in all honesty, I do think Juju's an upgrade, not by much. I'm not saying like he's at this tier, Jacoby's here, but Juju's a better yards at the catch guy. He's faster. I also think he's a little bit smarter with his routes.
Maybe if his routes, not
Not like playing like he's been in the league longer. But I also think Mac's most trusty guy was Kendrick Bourne.
Yeah.
I think that was his go-to guy, and Jacoby Myers was his go-to on third down. Like, because I always know he used to look at Kendrick Bourne first, and then he would look at Myers, and then he would go to Nelson.
And then Smith-Schuster also just won a ring. He didn't do anything, but he did win. He had a good year. He had
his best year since what Ben Roethlisberger was in.
He wasn't the main reason, but he did have he was their best receiver and a mediocre receiving career outside of Travis Kelce.
And the one thing that Juju gives us is a threat in the middle of the field.
Yeah, yes he is.
What I also heard is Gesicki's also going to be kind of more of a wide receiver and not a tight end.
That's the kind of player.
They're going to run a 2 tight end set where he mostly is at wide receiver, so he gives you another threat. And in my mock, I'm kind of spoil it. I do have the Patriots trading back into the first to select a wide receiver because I've heard rumors that they may trade back in if a right player is at this position that they want, and they have the pieces. And Mike Reese is the one that reported it, saying there's a possibility that a trade back in the first could be in the works. I know Matt Groves on this huge, day 2 wide receivers. No, you got to get your guy. Because in my opinion, there's 2 true wide receiver ones in this draft. Jackson Smith-Njigba and Quentin Johnson. I want Quentin Johnson. Quentin Johnson's a deep threat that we need. Jackson Smith-Njigba is like your Julian Edelman. He's your guy that goes across the middle. We don't need another one. We just got Juju for that. Kendrick Bourne does that. We need a guy that can go along with Parker.
Yeah.
We need 2 guys that can go deep. You chalk that ball up, they're going to come down with it. Because Parker's a great 50-50 guy. I think since like 2019, he's led the league in 50-50 balls, which is crazy. He's a guy you see as a wide receiver too. And he's...
Well, I thought when you brought Bill O'Brien in and you let a guy like John Smith go, which I had no issue with whatsoever.
Yeah. I was a huge Johnny Smith guy when we signed him.
Like Gesicki, to me, that kind of, and I think you guys don't know where I'm going with this. Remember when we had Gronk and Hernandez? And
yes.
You had Bill as the offensive coordinator, and you had the 2 tight end system.
I feel like this is going to remind me more of Martellus Bennett and Gronk, if Gronk stayed healthy.
Maybe.
Because they're both 2 tall guys, where Hernandez was 6'3".
Yeah.
But yeah, I can see where you're going with it, because that's what we tried to do with Jonnu and Henry. Henry was obviously good. Jonnu didn't work out. So Gesicki, I know Gesicki and Hunter will work well together because they're going to be mainly used in the red zone together because they're 2 tall guys.
Especially Gesicki.
And personally, I think in the second round, we're taking Darnell Washington if he's there.
Really?
He's 6'7".
They're
drafting a tight end.
Now,
he's replacing one of the 2 guys we have. So he's
pretty good.
He's from Georgia. He's a good tight end. He's tall. He's very tall.
He's good.
He's fast.
He's the 3rd best tight end in a deep tight end class. I think Washington State.
No, Georgia.
My board, I don't have them drafting a tight end until the 3rd round because I think you need to address O-line more than anything.
they can get their starting tackle in this draft. This is also a very tackle deep draft.
Yes.
So they can get their good tackle. So I think the plan is I don't think we go tackle first round. I think it's gonna be corner or wide receiver, and that's why I did my mock. I think they're gonna get their O tackle in like the 3rd, 4th round. He's gonna sit behind Riley Reef for a few games, and then Riley Reef's gonna let him play. They're gonna put him over the Riley Reef, and then Riley Reef and the kid we got from Denver would just be our guys if they get hurt, and switch in on certain scenarios.
Which guy?
I can't think of his name.
What position?
Offensive tackle. We signed him as an undrafted free agent, and then we cut him, and then he went to Denver. He had a couple good. He had a good year in Denver, and then he came. We just signed him this offseason to a 3-year deal.
He's an offensive tackle.
Yeah, he's not like a big name.
Pat, I think you're breaking up, Pat. Oh, there we go.
Back.
Pat, I think you're breaking up. Yeah, Pat, you're breaking up. You sound like a robot. All right, while Pat... All right, I think did Pat just leave... While Pat figures out
Let's continue with our
the tech issue, let's go to the
6th pick.
Yeah, 5th pick. I was you were Jalen Carter, but by the way, Jalen Carter talent wise, obviously that makes sense. It just depends on the all the fit issues and the pro day, how much weight that ends up holding. But the 6th pick with for the Detroit Lions, I had them taking edge rusher Tyree Wilson.
Same.
I just think they added to their secondary in the offseason. They kind of took care of that. And I think edge rusher is probably their last remaining need on that side of the ball. And he's the best edge rusher available. He's really good. So I think they go with him.
And at 7, I have the Raiders taking Peter Skoronski out of Northwestern.
I was thinking about having him do that, but in the end, I had them taking. I went with Devin Witherspoon, the corner out of Illinois, who's probably. I love everything about Joey Porter. He's a really good corner draft. Porter's the best cover corner in the draft, but I think the best overall corner might be Witherspoon. So I had the Raiders taking him.
And then at 8, I had Christian Gonzalez finally going off the board.
This is where I have another trade.
Who do you have trading up?
I have the New England Patriots trading up.
Oh, for who? Paris Johnson?
I had them trading up for Jackie Smith Najiba.
Oh, wow. You're going wide receiver.
So this is what I thought. I was stuck between receiver and offensive lineman for the Patriots. But I thought this is Mac's prove-it year.
Mm-hmm.
They're clearly committed to giving Mac what he needs to succeed. They brought in his offensive corner from college in Bill O'Brien.
He wasn't his offensive corner. When he joined the staff in Alabama was the year that Mac got drafted.
Okay.
He taught O'Brien the offense.
So they brought in a much better offensive corner, a real OC in Bill O'Brien. You get him another pass catching tight end in Mike Gesicki. You get him a solid receiver in Juju. But I look at the receiving core. I look at his weapons. You have a good two-way back in Ramondre. I like the tight end side with Henry and Gesicki. Receivers with Juju, Devontae, Kendrick Bourne, and Tyquan Thornton. I think they need one more true weapon. And I think at this point, you can't. At this point, either Mac blows out or.
You have them trading up that early?
I do, Pat. I do.
You're out of your mind.
I might be, but hey, remember, Pat, this draft is going to be crazy. There's going to be some crazy stuff happening. So I went.
He's not worth that capital. They need a wide receiver, but he is not worth trading up that far.
I have this taking in my own Patriots mock draft. I have us taking 2 wide receivers, one in the 1st round and one in like the 3rd or 4th round. Like I have us doubling dipping in wide receiver, and I think they've tried planning on doing that this year, like they did with corner last year. I also have us taking this offensive lineman. I have us taking a guard and a tackle. I also have us taking a corner and a tight end, and then kicker and punter with my last 2 picks.
Jake, tell me what you think of this, because
Okay.
This guy on my mock board, if he's still available. Porter Jr. is one of my guys I think they should draft, but if he wasn't available,
I do like Zay Flowers.
I'm not high on him.
No?
I think he's gonna be good, but he's not a wide receiver one, in my
I
opinion.
can't tell if he's being overvalued because I've seen the tape. He looks like a pretty solid wide receiver.
He's gonna be a good.
There's also a reason why he's not, like, to me, the number one wide receiver.
He reminds me of Danny Amendola.
I mean, I'll take it under Danny Amendola.
Yeah.
I need a wide receiver one that's gonna make a threat, in my opinion. Like if we get Zay Flowers, but
That's what you turn Bourne into. Turn Bourne into a wide receiver one.
he's not a threat. Like
Yeah,
no one's
he's-
scared of Bourne.
He's not a one for me.
Like Parker can be you need a better version of Devontae Parker. You need
Yeah.
that guy who's tall, but he has speed. That's why I want Quentin Johnson.
I would be fine if they drafted a cornerback in the first round.
I thought about that too.
I'm okay with that.
I've traded so like I said in my mock, I have the Patriots with 2 first-round picks in this year's draft. So yes, spoiler, that's my other trade.
Okay.
And then I have a third trade which didn't go through, but I'm planning through.
Mm-hmm.
I would
No.
agree with you if they have to, but that just doesn't strike me as what they've done. That doesn't strike me as a Patriots move. So
The Patriots are going away from Belichick's Patriots way.
Yeah.
Like last year would not be anything Belichick would have drafted.
So you
That
think Matt Groen's going to go to Bill Belichick in that draft room that night and say, Bill, we're going to trade up to get this wide receiver who may or may not be available? Because the only reason why I would say that's a strong possibility is because we don't know if the Packers are going to take a wide receiver ahead of us.
I don't.
Or not.
I have them taking tackle.
I do as
I
well.
think they want Jackson Smith-Njigba, and if he's not available at their pick, they're just gonna go offensive tackle to solidify the other side.
The Packers have also wanted the receiver for like 5 years, and every year they're like, good receivers available. Let's not take a receiver.
Yeah, they've passed on receiver every year.
Even during Favre. It wasn't even just Rodgers. Even during they didn't even draft him during when they had
But they have
Brett
good.
Favre.
They have good coaching to develop a wide receiver.
Yeah.
So they don't need to draft a receiver first round and being like we're screwed. They can go take a guy like Jonathan Mingo in like the
Yeah.
4th round and somehow make him a very good receiver.
Yeah.
And then they'll trade him and then they'll be back in London. Because think about Devontae Adams wasn't their first round pick.
Yeah.
I think he would fit well in that system.
Who?
Who was the guy you said you had him taking?
Jonathan Mingo to the Packers?
Yeah, I could see him on the Packers.
Mm-hmm.
I know the Patriots are interested in him if he's
Okay.
available in the later in day 2 or day 3.
We also haven't ruled out the possibility that, there are some teams who may want to trade for other wide receivers currently on their roster.
I was wanting Jerry Jeudy for a while, but I think that ship sailed.
At this point, yeah. I don't think he gets moved.
I think
I
Cortland
think the
Sutton's a
only reason
poss.
that would happen is if the Patriots gave them a first rounder, like in the high ups. I think you really have to have no hesitation to give up picks.
Y'all they'll have to overpay, yeah.
And I don't care about that. I care more about his production value and what do you give up in a draft where there are still positions of need that you just have to hope other teams aren't going to take advantage of. So if you get a cornerback in the first round, okay, now you have to hope that there's a wide receiver available in the second round, unless you decide to trade up in the second round, which I think we can all agree most teams will typically trade up in the second round. If you get an offensive lineman in the first round, then you're thinking about, okay, the best cornerback is already off the board. Do we think about getting another wide receiver, or do we think about addressing another part of our defense? So I think that day one will truly give us a sense of what direction teams may or may not go going into day 2. If that makes sense.
I think that makes sense. Yeah, this is definitely a big draft for the Patriots. You got, this is a proven year for Mac Jones, who, you got, you brought in Bill O'Brien's offensive coordinator. You got Bill Belichick is now 71 years old. How many years does he truly have left? I think you're right, Pat.
Steelers fans, Big Ben's not top 10 all time.
This is a big draft for the New England Patriots.
I'm going to be doing it live here.
Yeah? Okay.
Ball my eyes out if they take another card.
We're watching it in the building that we're at currently in one of the theater rooms.
Yeah, we're gonna have a bunch of people going. Yeah, I think is Ryan McNeil coming?
Yes, Ryan McNeil is coming, so I'll have 2 Patriots fans in there.
3, because is Drew coming?
Drew's coming to 3. And then I think John's going to join us. So
Hey!
3 Jets fans.
We're shouting out everybody on this podcast.
Brandon is going to join us on a Zoom call because he has to go home. Liam, we're going to have a Packers fan.
We're going to zoom in, Brandon.
Yeah, because
Why are we zooming him in?
Because he can't be here.
Oh.
He won't be in person, so I'm going to send him a
That's
Zoom link.
great.
I'm going to have my phone. I'm going to have my laptop
That's
charging.
great.
Really sounds like you guys really thought this through.
Maybe we should get you on a Zoom call, too.
Pack and zoom. We can zoom. We're zooming.
We're zooming to everyone.
When did Brandon say you're zooming him in?
Oh, I told him because he has to go home to drive his brother around.
Oh yeah, I know he was going home. I didn't know about this.
He wanted to do like a FaceTime call. I was like, how about this is a Zoom call? I can just leave my laptop. I could just send him a DM with a link to the Zoom call. He'd be watching it live while we're watching it live, and we all can talk about it.
We're zooming in this guy. Okay.
I'll do anything.
I'm not saying it's a bad idea. I just didn't. I don't know. This draft is in just over 24 hours. I didn't know that.
Also.
Which is also crazy. Which is also really like scary to think this draft is actually in less than 24 hours. Like,
I know it's in. So I'm so excited. I don't know. I think I've ever been more excited for the NFL draft.
I don't know if I'm excited.
I don't know what the hell is gonna happen.
Me either. So it's gonna be crazy. I'm excited and nervous at the same time.
Also, why was Brogdon not playing last night? I just wanted to say it.
I remember when
That-
Matt got
okay.
drafted that year, and I was holding up my breath for every single pick that happened. Whether it was Denver, who we thought may be taking him or Justin Fields at the time. Whether it was
Yeah.
reason that the Bears traded up, like I was holding my breath for every single pick, and I feel like for this draft this year, well, there may not be like a clear cut guy that outside of the quarterback class that everyone's sort of talking about. I feel like there's still going to be so much tension about, okay, what's this guy going to do for this offense? What are they going to bring to this side of the defensive ball? And then are they even going to stay on the, are they going to stay on the team depending on whether or not they get cut before the roster gets cut down, which we've seen before with some draft picks. I mean, hey, if Chase Young's on the trade block, then he may get traded draft night. The Commanders could probably use the pick.
Yeah, that'll be
Montez Sweat's also available.
Who?
Montez Sweat.
Why?
Either one of them is available.
What are the Commanders doing? What are they doing?
Also,
Can they trade Josh Allen?
which one? QB or linebacker?
Could we have them trade Josh Allen to like the Texans or something? So,
Who?
like,
Wait.
talks about him anymore?
The Jaguars linebacker?
No, the quarterback.
Why would the Bills trade him?
I don't like him.
Just because you don't like him doesn't mean he's gonna get traded.
That's my reason. If I was a GM, I would just say call him and go, I don't like him. Trade him.
I think Diggs could get traded.
Reasons I'm not a GM.
I'm not a GM.
Too bad.
I don't like him.
Oh.
Actually, I mean,
What's that?
I mean, just speaking of the Bills, what's their ceiling? What's at stake for them at this draft, knowing that Sean McDermott may be on the hot seat this season?
Every year they look like they're stacked. Look like they could win it all, and then they run in to the Chiefs or the Bengals and they lose. I think at some point they gotta get past what they gotta get to the big game.
They can't though. That's the problem.
Oh yeah, no, they're not going to. There's no way they're beating Kansas City or Cincinnati. I don't think ever. But at some point, I think they're gonna have to, or someone's gonna go. I don't know if it's gonna be McDermott. I don't know who it's gonna be, but if they do not get to the Super Bowl really, really soon, somebody's getting fired, somebody's getting traded, somebody's getting let go. Something's gonna have to give.
With McDermott, he's the obvious scapegoat. Presidents of any sports organization or general managers will always put it on the head coach because they themselves don't want to relinquish any power that they have over an NFL or pro team. You can fire a head coach, bring in another guy, and then you sort of build your confidence around them, hoping the players have that same confidence. But I mean, listen, I think
Yeah.
Von Miller, you've got Stephon Diggs, you've got Josh Allen, you've got a ton of pieces. You were maybe like top 5 offense, top defense for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
At some point, you need to take a step back. And again, I'm happy that they're failing. Let me be very clear.
Oh yeah, I'm happy as well.
I'm happy. I hope Josh Allen never wins a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
But
And then
at
two
some
of the
point, that
scrambled eggs.
organization needs to ask themselves, what are we either we're doing something wrong, or Josh Allen is going to go down as this generation's Dan Marino.
Yeah, I mean, like it seems like you had the
I actually comparing the Phil Rivers.
yeah, I think that's a good comparison as well. Like, every year, look, stacked. You had a couple of years ago they lose to Kansas City. Okay, Kansas City that year was the best team. They lose to them again with in that crazy game. They blame the coin, and then this year a lot of people thought they would beat the Bengals and then lose them the second round to the Bengals, and now we're at the point like. And Allen didn't even play well that game, and he had some turnover problems in the regular season as well. And now all of a sudden you lose Tremaine Edmonds in the middle of that defense, and they didn't have the money to bring in the number 2 receiver they need. I'm not sure if Damian Harris is a 3-down back. They still need probably another offensive lineman. They had a lot of injuries on defense last year. You wonder, is this team really? Is their Super Bowl window really that wide open?
I think their window is as open as any team in the AFC who's building themselves to compete with Kansas City, which is I think exactly what Buffalo's been trying to do for the past couple of years. It's why you bring in Diggs. It's why you bring in Von Miller. You bring in guys who have high level football IQ, some Super Bowl experience,
especially Von.
But at the end of the day, I just whatever they think they're doing is not working, and
it's not, yeah.
And listen, again, I'm happy it's not working.
Yeah.
What do you guys think their angle in the draft should be?
Defense.
I
haven't taken edge rusher in this draft.
Part of me think I'm split between. I won't spoil my pick, but I will say this: I was between them going defense because they've had so many injuries on defense, or maybe even another receiver. I don't think Gabe Davis is number 2 receiver. I don't think he's that good, to be honest. I think he's right in the playoffs, but overall, I think he's kind of mediocre. And so I think you either go receiver or you go defense.
Wait, lost Isaiah McKenzie in free agency, so
yeah.
Do you look to replace him?
Maybe.
Outside of Diggs? Do you decide to go defense or do you decide to build up an already solid offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie, they could probably use another piece. I like Morse, I like Dawkins, but they could probably even need. Huh?
What about a safety side Poyer?
They have like a Hyde.
I know, but I don't know. I feel like we've been kind of overrating those guys for the past couple of years.
Yeah, I mean they're very good. They just gotta stay on the field.
Like the same way I feel like the Jalen Ramsey move to.
That was an overhyped move. Yeah, he's not the same player. He's not the same player.
Like the safety position in the NFL now is sort of diminished in terms of
it's very weak.
One in the league, like Jair Alexander is nowhere near that level. Packers fans try to convince themselves he's a top 5, but
can't stay on the field.
I think the Bills should focus on a wide receiver or defense. I think that's their best bet.
Yeah. And the safety group in this year, outside of Minka Fitzpatrick and Buda Baker, there's not that many elite safeties in this league, to be honest.
Oh,
well, they could have traded Poyer or Hyde.
They could have.
Guy off the market.
Yeah. Maybe you get a second round pick. You get maybe get a like a 3rd receiver. Yeah.
Again, that's what the first round could. If the Bills were so convinced that there's a guy left on the
Tom Brady
first round, then they have to make that move in the first round.
Yeah.
I would say they're the team out of every team that needs to be the ones thinking about trading up as soon as possible.
Yeah, but
next up.
Yeah. So the 9th pick in the draft, who do you have the Bears taking?
Paris Johnson Jr. should be obvious.
I actually have him going. You already had him off the board. I'm taking.
Wisconsin.
I actually had him taking Jalen Carter.
Oh wow, you actually went defense.
Yeah, so I
Taking offensive line.
yeah,
they have to go offensive.
I was between O-line and, but Jalen Carter's the guy who they were actually looking at. They were considering taking first before they traded the pick. We all know talent-wise, he is worth a top 10 pick. You have him at 5, I have him at 9 for a reason. He obviously has his warts. We already went through them. They're very obvious, but I think they've been in love with him since the start of this process. And they can move down 8 spots and still get him. I think they do that. But I could easily see them going offensive line.
We got a 10.
Can I have the Eagles taking Bijan Robinson?
Same. I think they gotta go running back. They just lost Miles Sanders.
That's a really good pick.
Here's my thing.
They gotta get that blue chip. Like,
Unless here's a caveat, Jake.
Okay.
So Chicago, then the Eagles, right?
Yeah.
Give me a scenario. Tell me this is not a possibility. Dallas trades up with Chicago to get him.
I
Not a possibility.
I think if Bijan, so Dallas has got pick 26. I think if Bijan slips a bit, like if he gets past the Eagles, I think Jerry Jones gets on the phone and he starts making calls and he tries to
the
move
Cowboys
up.
aren't. They never really trade up.
I'm saying that I don't think he gets past the Eagles. So
I don't think the Cowboys would trade up. I don't think they want to give up the capital to get to 9 because the Bears will ask for a lot.
No, I'm saying if he gets past 10, I think he moves up.
There's a
I would
chance.
be shocked if he moves past 10.
I would be shocked if he moves up. It's Jerry Jones. He does not know what he's doing.
No, he doesn't. He's an old wreck. But Dallas, for whatever reason, they love taking positions they don't need. A couple of years ago, Michael C. Lamb's an amazing receiver, but they didn't really need a receiver, and they took a receiver.
No, you know why they took him? Out of spite because the Eagles were going to draft him.
That's true. Yeah, and then like last year they didn't really need another offensive lineman, and he took Tyler Smith. They don't need a back. Tony Pollard's a great back, but they don't need what they really need. They need probably another piece on defense. They could use maybe another offensive line, but they're gonna take a position they don't need, and they're gonna take a running back. And if he starts falling, I wouldn't be surprised if they trade it up. And back to Bijan. I don't love a running back going in the top 10, but Bijan's really special. So, and he's like a Saquon type of talent at that position. So I think the Eagles take him.
And then for my 11th pick, obviously it's not a Cardinals because
Yep,
obviously the Titans
same
trained up.
here.
I got them taking Miles Murphy out of Clemson because Tyree Wilson's off the board. Will Anderson's off the
I do like
board.
Miles.
They're going to go off the next
I
one.
have him going not that pick, but he does go pretty soon. I have the Cardinals taking Pierre Skronsky. You already have him off the board, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I got some insight on Perskratsky if you guys are interested.
Please fire away.
So Peter King wrote an article the
Uh-huh.
other day,
Mm-hmm.
and he was talking about how he wants the Patriots to get Peter Perskratsky, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were looking over his, his college resume in terms of what people were saying about him, right? Whether or not he would actually be a good pick for New England. I actually think that he'll be better as a guard.
Skronsky. I think
Yeah.
he played guard. He played a guard as he did play guard in college, so he could be. He can definitely play guard. I think he'll get time at guard at some point in his career. I can see him getting moved.
I can tell you that I wouldn't be high on him at all as a GM. I can tell
Really?
you that.
Skronsky?
Yes.
Is it because you think he should switch positions, or do you just think he's not that good?
I think he becomes a project that you have to not only switch him at positions, but I think that certain traits that he has as a player may also come across as somewhat of a weakness.
He would fit, like, if he somehow end up in New England, you move Owenu to right tackle, and then you move.
I don't want him in New England.
It's it's the Patriots. We're gonna take some pick that's not piss us all off anyway. The Patriots and the Steelers are the same franchise. They just piss off their fan base.
And they find a way to make it work.
The Patriots take a punter.
Oh, I'm going to punt the first round. I am going to New England. I am flying to Foxborough, and I'm going in that draft room. I don't give a shit. They're going to throw me out of the building and probably never let me into a Patriots game. And I'm going to tell Bill what I want to say and being like, why the hell you take a punter?
He'd be like, Just
Well, think about it. The highest kicker went a couple years ago in the second round to the Bucks.
Remember Maguire? He was terrible too.
He reminds me.
He was horrible. He was so good in college. For whatever reason, he got to the NFL. He couldn't make a field goal for his life.
Who's your 12th?
But no, I would not take Shoskovsky.
I don't want O-line first round.
Yeah, 12th pick, Houston Texans. I've been taking edge rusher Luke Van Ness out of Iowa.
Since I didn't take quarterback, I still didn't take a quarterback. The Houston Texans are going to take wide receiver Jackson Smith-Njigba to build around their quarterback next year, who's probably going to be Caleb Williams or Drake May.
Yeah, that's a very good pick. I know a lot of people saying they go Stroud and JSN because that obviously you have the connection
You have
there.
the connection.
But I would have done that, but I already have them off the board, so they need obviously they already got their pass rusher. For me, they didn't get their pass rusher yet, so I have them taking a pass rusher.
Who's at 13? Who do you have the Packers taking with the former Jets pick?
Yes, 13th pick. I have them going offensive line. I have them taking Paris Johnson.
I haven't taken Broderick Jones.
All right, so yes.
So we both had the same
yeah.
idea. They need a guy that they need to put on the next to Bakhtiari, because he's getting old too. He's not a young buck anymore.
No, he's not.
So I get they get their young guy. They can always switch him.
I think they probably put him at right tackle and he moved Jenkins inside because Jenkins is I think he's really underrated, one of the league's best linemen. Not only is he elite, he can play at any position on that line. And then when Bakhtiari, let's say a couple of years, you let him go or he retires, you could always move whoever you draft to left side. In this case, in your case, Broderick Jones. In my case, Paris Johnson to the left side, and then you move Jenkins back to the tackle.
Yep. And then 14. I stayed. Obviously, you had New England trading up to get Jackson Smith-Njigba.
Right.
I stayed, and obviously with the most pick, I obviously took the worst player available. No, I'm playing. I took an obvious choice. At 14, I had the Patriots selecting Devon Witherspoon.
That's a good
the
pick.
cornerback out of Illinois. I have him falling a little bit, and I don't think New England will pass up on that talent. He's gonna be a great corner one. He's got the tools. He's got the athleticism. He's got what the Patriots need. Finally, we can get rid of Jalen Mills from ever being a corner ever again. Bye-bye, Jalen Mills. Have fun at safety. And you compare that with Jonathan Jones, Jack Jones, Marcus Jones. At this point, Davon should just change his last name to Jones. He might make the team. The Patriots are basically a Jones team. Mac, you got 2.
Oh my God, I got 4 Jones.
Don't forget about Mac. But yeah, who do you got the Falcons taking? Because obviously they probably have the pick.
We do pretty well with Jones.
I know, that's all I'm saying.
Yeah, you got by the way, I think it's a good pick. I think if he gets past the Raiders, he may slip just the way the draft is built this year. And I had the Falcons trading into 14, and they get edge rusher Nolan Smith out of Georgia.
Do I even have Nolan Smith getting drafted?
I mean, every year there is guys.
Yeah,
every year there's first round guys that slip into the second round.
Yep.
So you never know. All right.
Christian Barmore is one.
Yeah.
I think we have the same idea for the Jets.
I think we do as well.
I gotta take tackle Darnell White.
I haven't taken Broderick Jones. You already had him on the board. Yeah.
We got both my offense.
Yeah. Well, we said it earlier. You can't trust Mekhi Becton. You put him in at right tackle. Maybe you give Mekhi a chance to compete for the spot. I don't know. He's gotta get through training camp first, healthy. If he stays healthy, maybe give him a chance. Why did you just showed me a picture of him with Mac Jones on his phone? Okay, I don't know how that relates to this, but
just weird flex.
Okay, so maybe you give Mekhi a chance to compete for it, but if they take Broderick Jones and he looks like the real deal, I don't even know. At that point, you might as well tell Mekhi, look, dude, you can't stay healthy. You're on the bench.
For my 16th pick, I got the Commanders taken. Cornerback, Deontay Banks, out of Maryland.
I have a trade.
Oh, this is another trade. Oh, who's trading now?
I have 7 trades in this mock. I have a lot of trades.
Who's next?
I have the Bucks moving up.
Okay.
I have them taking edge rusher Miles Murphy out of Clemson.
Fair. He's off the board, obviously, for me.
Yeah, I like him. The Tampa, they could go offensive line. That was their main issue last year. Also, they also had a 65-year quarterback. That didn't help either. But I think with a more younger and mobile quarterback, it could be less of an issue. They'll be healthier. You'll have having Jensen in the middle will help. And I think they could use one more pass rusher, so I have him go Miles Murphy.
17th, I think, is the obvious pick.
Tampa isn't one of those teams looking to trade up to the third with the Cardinals.
I just think that would be such a huge drop off for Arizona. I'm not sure if they'd want to do that, but yeah,
That's a possibility.
I definitely think they could trade up because they have a couple of needs, and they're a team that if they can get a even
Richardson staying in Florida? Question mark.
like
I doubt they go him.
Ooh, if he's gonna have to fall because they're too far back, but. Yeah, I could see them moving up because like they're a team. All they have to have is like a mediocre team, and they win that division. Like you can win 9 games and win the NFC South this year.
Whoa.
Every year, watch with 9 games on my own, and no one cares.
What's up?
Michael Hawley of NBC Sports Boston was asked the question today. Is Mac on the move? And he says he thinks so.
Really?
I could see. Here's my thing. If they do believe in one of the quarterbacks in this draft, they believe can be better than Mac. I could see a possible move up to 7.
I mean, I'm moving up to 8, not to take a quarterback, but to take a receiver.
But in my opinion, what I think is going to happen, no Mac trade. They're going to take a corner.
I don't think they take a quarterback. And I doubt a trade will happen. I just think
next year, there could be a possibility.
I think I got a little wild there.
So at 17, I think we had the same pick. Joey Porter Jr. to the Steelers.
I have Christian Gonzalez.
Oh.
I like him. I like them both. And Joey Porter, his name is getting called very soon. But I'll just a little preview there. But yeah, I have him. The Commanders, the biggest thing is corner. Look. You can say what you want about Sam Howell. They're set on him.
I thought you were talking about the Steelers.
I am stupid.
You skipped a few picks.
I'm stupid.
So he's going to the Commanders.
But yeah, the Steelers, the biggest needs are offensive line and corner. There's really not enough linemen here that's really worth the pick. So corner, and Gonzalez is a good player, so I have him going him.
18, you're going to be surprised. Not really. I think it could actually happen. I have the Lions taking Dalton Kincaid, the tight end out of Utah, to replace TJ Hawkinson.
That is an area of need, and I'm actually surprised. Why Kincaid before Michael Mayer?
I think Kincaid, like what I've been hearing from a bunch of executives and GMs around the league, is that he's the best pass catching tight end in this draft. And he's just got a better skill set than Michael Mayer. Nothing towards Michael Mayer. He's still going to be a good tight end. It's just his skill set.
This tight end draft is very deep. It's going to be very interesting. But yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good pick. I think that could happen. I am going with Quentin Johnson.
That's fair.
See for TCU, Jameson suspended for 6 games for gambling. I talked about that. That literally broke like an hour before taking Justin in the morning. So I'm like looking at. I'm like, oh, Justin, this just broke.
I sent that in the sports chat too.
Yeah, I'm just like, what? The Lions teams got suspended. So like
19, I have a good pick.
And you lose Shark as well.
Yep.
So they're not as deep offensively as they were last year. So
what's he cooking? I have a feeling he's cooking something.
Yeah, Pat's been cooking this whole podcast.
Jake, I gotta bounce, man, but I'll probably talk to you tomorrow during the draft. I'm sure everyone's gonna want to tune in.
Yeah, we should all jump in Pat's Twitter Spaces on during the draft. All right, Pat, thanks so much for coming on. You're welcome anytime, and I'll catch you on Twitter Spaces tomorrow.
All right, see you, brother. Thank you.
Of course, man. All right, 19th pick. What's going on?
So, there's one QB still sitting on the board. His name's Will Levis. Need for the Bucs is quarterback. So I've been taking quarterback Will Levis out of
Really?
So I think Baker's the bridge. He's gonna sit behind Baker for a year, maybe beats him out.
I mean, Baker's not that good.
But Will Levis will have a chance to be a starter in Tampa.
I had him train up anyway, but the thing with that, see, they bring in Baker. They saw something in him. They saw him the 2 games he played well with the Rams, I guess.
Goated, obviously.
And my thing is, they have Trask there. They drafted him in the 2nd round. I think they want to give him a shot. Should they? I was never that high on him, Trask, to be honest. So I think they're going to see that he's not that good, and I think they'll be like, all right, Baker's not that much better, but he also has really good pieces around him. They'll think, all right, maybe and that division's so bad, they might win the division at 8-9. So,
Yeah. And you also have the Commanders taking Joey Porter. Obviously, we started talking about the pick while we were talking about the Steelers, but obviously you said it was a need they need.
Yeah, they need a cover corner in that defense. Joey Porter fits that need. He's really good. In fact, you could argue, talent-wise, he should go a lot higher. Just the way the draft is built, he probably ends up falling around there. So Commanders move back and get Joey Porter.
So 20 is the Seahawks. I have them double dipping on defense. I got them selecting Nolan Smith, the edge out of Georgia. Yeah.
I mean, the Seahawks defense, it's not been great for a couple of years.
But now they got Jalen Carter and Nolan Smith.
Wow.
I had another draft where I had the Texans double dipping at edge rusher. Like
They need a lot of pass
Tyree
rush
Wilson
help.
somehow slipped in my draft, so I had them taking Tyree Wilson and Will Anderson for the Texans.
That's not out of the question.
But that
Tyree
would have
Wilson
been a
going
crazy
to the club.
duo
That would be nuts.
Houston.
That would be nasty.
But with Nolan Smith, I think he'll fit well with
Yeah.
Pete Carroll
Mhm.
in
I
his
agree.
defense. And then
I like
pairing
him.
him with Jalen Carter. If they've already worked well together, they're going to just do it again in the NFL.
Yeah, so
20, do you have another trade?
Yeah, I am taking off the tackle Darnell Wright. I think their biggest need to probably pass rushing off the tackle. Their O-line played better than expected last year, but I still think they need one more tackle. They've been rebuilding their line for a couple of years now. You took Cross last year, and now they get one on the other side with Darnell Wright at Tennessee.
Fair.
All right, 21st.
I got the Chargers selecting wide receiver Jordan Addison out of USC.
A lot of
And yes,
capital.
it's surprising because you know what name has not been said yet? Quentin Johnson.
Not in your draft now.
I haven't said him yet. He's going to be selected soon. Little sneak peek.
All right.
I may have hinted at the team he goes to, but who do you have at 21?
All right. Funny thing is, I have the Giants trading up,
Oh,
but I haven't taken Jordan Addison. So,
fair.
same player, different team. I think the Giants are going to look all right. Great move to get Darren Waller for nothing, for a third-round pick, but receiving course still is pretty weak. You got Kenny Galladay's like corpse out of there, basically. I don't know what that tenure was. Like, you have Slayton, okay.
What are you talking about? He's the best player in...
Best receiver of all time, yeah. They still need a receiver. If I'm them, this is a deep receiver draft, and there's still one or two guys available. From them, I think they start getting worried that they're not going to get one. And this is down. I mean, they just gave Daniel Jones $40 million a year. I don't know why, but they did. They gotta set him up for success, so they make sure they get their guy. They trade up and get Addison, who has said that who the Giants like. Addison said he would like to play there. It makes a lot of sense to me. All right, 22nd, the Baltimore Ravens.
I haven't taken Lucas Van Ness, the edge out of Iowa.
I really like him. Iowa.
Solidify that defensive line.
Yeah,
they just lost Campbell.
Yeah,
so it's a huge loss. He's been good for them. So replace him with someone younger. I like his moves. He's very powerful. He has very good powerful moves. His speed. He was a guy I did consider at New England's pick instead of Devon Witherspoon, but I felt corner was more of a need, so I went there.
I think it crossed my mind that I think he fits there, but I just thought pass rush isn't really what they need. So
I think they want to work on this defense. They've gone enough receivers this offseason they still have Bateman. He's still in his year 3. Is it year 3 or 4? I forgot. I don't remember.
I think this is year 3. But yeah, I mean, the Ravens, their biggest issue, obviously, we all know what it is. It's Lamar. They got to figure that out. It doesn't matter. But, there's not, first of all, if they see a quarterback, Lamar is going to block every single member of the Ravens organization in his phone. So I had the Ravens taking Deontay Banks, corner out of Maryland. I believe they lost Peters. I don't think he's employed right now at all, actually. And every year they look set, and every year their corners go get hurt. So they need a little depth. I like Deontay Banks. I have him going to the Ravens.
Nice. At 23 for the Vikings, I have them selecting Keely Ringo, the cornerback out of Georgia.
Yeah, Vikings. They brought in Byron Murphy, but they need as much secondary help as they can get. Their pass defense was horrible. I think you or I could have thrown for 300 yards against them. They could not stop the pass if they tried. Good
Daniel
pick.
Jones.
Huh?
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is just... Daniel Jones and Isaiah Hodgins is just lighting them up. Daniel Jones is just picking them apart in the playoff game. When Daniel Jones is picking you apart, you know something's wrong. And change is definitely needed.
Who you got?
I think the Vikings taking Hendon Hooker.
Wow.
So I looked at... I like Hendon Hooker. I like him a lot.
Not Will Levis.
Well, he's off the board for me, for the Titans.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Look, again, I don't think that'll happen. I think the Titans are going to do something
Who
crazy.
the hell did you not draft?
Huh?
Did you not draft Anthony Richard? No, yeah, you did.
Yeah.
You went to the Colts?
I had the quarterbacks going top 4. Young, Stroud, Levis, and then Tony Rich. And then
Oh, yeah, this one's 4. That's right. 4
Yeah.
first round.
Yeah, and then
possible fifth.
I think if you're Minnesota, look, all right, Kirk Cousins is not a bad quarterback by any means. He's a solid starter. He can get you to the playoffs, but he's not going to win any more than one playoff game. At some point, they need because when they got Kirk Cousins, they thought they were coming off the trip to the NFC Championship game with Case Keenum. They brought him in to win a Super Bowl, and it didn't work.
Mm-hmm.
Can they still make the playoffs with Kirk? I think they can. I'm not sure if they will, but they can.
They're weak division.
Yeah, they're in a weak division, but I think it's time to draft somebody behind Kirk. Hooker, who I think is a project, coming off a knee injury, a major knee injury. I think if you have him sit behind Kirk for a year, he's got a lot of great pieces there. I think next year he takes over. That could be a nice transition. So I think the Vikings take Hendon Hooker.
With the Jaguars, I'm taking Brian Breesy, the defensive tackle out of Clemson, to kind of solidify that middle spot because they haven't had one since
I like him.
Calais
At least
Campbell.
he's going soon in my draft. I have another trade.
Who's trading up?
I have the Buffalo Bills moving up.
For who?
Zay Flowers.
Fair.
Yeah, I think they need another receiver. I don't think Gabe Davis is that good. We talked about it with Pat that they just lost McKenzie. I think they can get Zay Flowers.
Fair.
And now there's no excuse for Josh Allen.
So the Giants got the 25th pick. Obviously, in your draft, they traded up. For me, I have them selecting Brian Branch, the safety out of Alabama.
I love
in that
Brian
defense.
Branch.
So Brian Branch, I've heard, is more of a nickel corner. He's
Okay.
not an actual safety.
Okay.
So, but he'll be a good piece that they can use to solidify their defense.
Yeah, if they Giants stayed, I probably would have had him going there. The Chargers moved down. I have them taking Brian Branch. So we had
the same players.
21 and 25. We had the same players.
Different
but
teams.
I just have a trade.
The opposite teams.
Yeah, the Chargers, their secondary the last couple years has been a little funky. You know, every year it looks like good on paper, but then something happens, someone gets hurt, someone underperforms, and now Derwin James gets a partner in crime with Brian Branch.
So 26 is where my second
Dallas
trade is.
Cowboys. The Dallas loves to just take the weirdest player.
In my draft, the Cowboys don't have a first round pick. This is my second trade.
Ooh.
So, I have the New England Patriots trading back into the first.
Both had them moving up. Wow.
And they traded the 46th pick, the 4th round pick this year, and a second next year to get the 26th pick from the Dallas Cowboys. And with the 26th pick, you've already had him drafted. They're going to select Quentin Johnson, the wide receiver out of TCU. Their guy is there. They decided to take him. They saw him falling, and they had to jump. And they got from 46 to the 26th pick. So they go 20 spots, they get their guy. Obviously, they won't have a second-round pick, but he's a fit to need. He's the guy I think they should draft at 14. But in my draft, I don't see really many teams going after him. I think Jordan Addison somehow goes before him. I think he falls. I think New England sees that. They trade up. They get their guy.
I have Dallas taking Michael Mayer, tight end at Notre Dame. You just
I can see that. That's a fit.
You lose Schultz as a pretty big loss. I'm not sure if Schultz didn't want to come back because he was tagged last year. Maybe they were trying to tag him again. He was like, I'm not doing that. But he only got $8 or $9 million from Houston. I don't know why Dallas. I know they didn't have a ton of cap room. They haven't because they're paying Dak. They're paying Dak too much.
Yep.
But not to be able to fork over $10 million for Schultz didn't make a lot of sense to me. Like, if he had gotten a little more than that, I could see them being a little hesitant. But to 8 or 9 million for Schultz, I thought was more than worth it. But so they get a replacement with Michael Mayer.
So 27 is the Buffalo Bills for me. They didn't trade up, obviously, for me. They're going to take Isaiah Foskey, the edge on Notre Dame.
Not familiar with him.
So he's obviously an edge. So I think they need a guy that could kind of be the guy that replaces Von Miller, but still play at the same time.
Yeah.
So they need a guy that can go on the other side. Foskey can be that. He's a name that's kind of climbing the board, so he's not like the Tyree Wilson and all that crew, Lucas Finesse, but he's the next guy, and he's at this point the best available, as all the other edge rushers for me went. Yeah, Lucas Van Ness was the last edge rusher, and he went at 22.
Yeah,
Miles Murphy's off the board.
They're all gone.
So finally, they go best available. It may be a reach, honestly, because he's probably going to be a day 2 pick, but at this point, you're in the late first. It's pretty much almost a second round pick. So you can reach at that point. So
I had the Jaguars moving down, and they take Kalijah Cansey, D-tackle out of Pitt. I like Cansey, not to the same extent. I think he has some traits. Yes, they both went to Pitt, but I think he sort of reminds me of Aaron Donald. Mm-hmm. There is only one Aaron Donald. He will not become Aaron Donald. I am not saying that, but I think he could be like a...
So we had the same idea for the Jags.
Maybe like a poor man's Aaron Donald.
Lord, help mercy.
He's like a Aaron Donald, like light, but like very light. Mm-hmm. But like I do like him, and I think Jacksonville could use another piece on my D line, and they get it with Cansey.
So 28 is the Bengals. We all know their issue with the O-line. So I have them taking Anton Harrison, offensive tackle Oklahoma, and taking that last maybe first round pick tackle.
He's another guy I think is climbing the boards as well. He's a guy that I think he either will sneak in the first round, or we're going to be around pick 40 something, and someone's going to take him to the second round. We're like, oh, wow, that's actually a steal. Yeah, I like him. The Bengals, their offensive line, they're going to get Joe Burrow killed.
He already got killed. He already tore his ACL.
They're going to get him killed again. They would have a ring if they had a line. And, they've been trying to give him some more assets. You bring in Brown. I know Jonah Williams wants to be traded. So I know you got Brown and Collins. But, Lyle Collins, his contract is up after next year. Maybe you have him sit behind Collins. Do you move him around? They could use as much depth as they can get as well. They also had a lot of injuries last year. The Bengals at that position. So they could use as much depth as they can get. What are you looking at?
Pixar is to make an incredible spin-off named Arrestables. And if you can go off what your brain is thinking, yes, it's a group. It's a black family.
Oh God.
This better be a joke.
NBC. Wait, who's making? Pixar's about to get canceled. I swear. If that comes
that has
out,
to be a joke.
Pixar's getting canceled if that comes out. There's no way that comes out. Is that?
Nah, it has to be a joke.
Pixar's. They're gonna
I think it is a joke,
okay.
But that is funny. That also is still a facial reaction, because if that somehow is true, then Pixar's got some explaining to do.
A lot, yeah. I actually have another trade.
Of course.
I had 7 trades in this mock. I have the Chiefs moving up.
Okay.
And I have the Chiefs taking Brian Bracey, D-tackle out of Clemson. I think they need help on the defensive side of the ball. I know they could use a receiver, but having Pat Mahomes helps. I mean, he didn't have a receiving core last year either, and he was fine. Very, very fine when he won MVP. So I think that they'll be fine. They still have Kelsey there. They could use another piece on that D-line. You're so childish. I think they got Brian Bracey out of Clemson. All right.
That's fair. It's a good pick. So 29 is the Saints.
Mm-hmm.
I think you have another trade here, probably.
I actually do not. Not
yet. Oh, wow. That's surprising. So I have them taking tight end out of Notre Dame. And this guy's named Michael Mayer. They need a tight end.
Yeah.
You need someone better than Jawan Johnson. Jawan Johnson, I don't know how you pronounce his name.
Yeah.
So they take him. They can give Carr another tight end. He had a good tight end in Oakland and Vegas, both places, because it was the same tight end. His name is Darren Waller. He's in New York. Rest in peace, his soul.
What? Okay.
It's New York. New York media is gonna bash him if he has one bad game. We all
Yeah,
know it.
that's
You're a
true.
Jets fan. But yeah, it's this the fit that is there, and he's there and he's available. So
Yeah, I have the Saints taking a tight end. I am taking Dalton Kincaid. I
was
had
both.
Mayer ahead of Kincaid.
Yep.
Yeah, I think. I just look, there wasn't a ton. The Saints had bigger needs in tight end, but there was no one really fitting their needs. Like, linebacker might be their biggest need. I don't have a linebacker in the first round. The linebacker class is pretty weak this year. They'll start going in the second, but not yet. So I just think tight end was their next biggest need. You could, like you said, Juwan Johnson, you could use an upgrade over him, and now you have two guys that can catch the ball. They bring in Dalton Kincaid.
So this is my final trade. Obviously, you see
I have a trade as well.
it's Philly, but I have the Ravens trading up to 30 with the Eagles because it's Philly's pick. And with the 30th pick, I have the Ravens, who gave up their second, I think, a first next year. I forgot how the trade went. To select Zay Flowers, the wide receiver out of Boston College.
I like that.
So they get their wide receiver finally. Not really, but they get their receiver in this draft and Zay Flowers. And
Yeah.
he'll
I
give
mean,
them that
he
little
might have
slot
Tyler
back.
Huntley throwing him the ball, but.
Better than Nelson Aguilar.
So
So I have Odell, Rashad Bateman, Zay Flowers, and Nelson Aguilar, according to my mock.
All right, I do like Zay Flowers. I had the Colts moving up from 30 back into the first from 35. The Eagles move back, and I have been taking Osiris Torrance, the offensive guard out of Florida. He's probably the best guard in this draft. I feel like every draft there's one interior lineman that like sneaks in to the first round. And the Colts, also they got their quarterback, they got to protect them. They've lost some pieces on the O-line in recent years. They need another guard across from Quentin Nelson, and I think they take Torrance from Florida.
So
And obviously now he can protect Anthony Richardson again.
So,
By the way, guys, last pick of the first round. This pick is only 31 picks because the Dolphins decide to tamper. So they lost their first.
thank you, Tom Brady. But so the Chiefs obviously didn't trade up like your draft. So with the 31st pick, they're gonna get another rookie corner, just like they did last year. And Trent McDuffie turned out to be They're gonna select Cam Smith out of South Carolina.
Ooh,
So they're gonna get their corner that they can hopefully pair up with Trent McDuffie if Trent McDuffie has a good year next year, as well as L'Jarius Sneed, who's your slot guy. So
Yeah.
Cam Smith gonna be, I don't know if he's gonna be the 1 or 2 corner, but depends on what they want to do.
And with my last pick in the 2023 NFL Draft, the Bengals, who I had trading down to the 31st pick, I am taking cornerback Emmanuel Forbes at Mississippi State. Bengals need some secondary help. They've been trying to rebuild that secondary for a couple of years now, and now you lose the two safeties. You drafted Dax Hill last year, safety out of Michigan at the end of the first round. You drafted another DB in the second round last year, and now you get a corner in Forbes in the first round this year. All right, that's all we got for you guys today. Ashton, thank you for joining us.
You're welcome.
Until next time, so long. Have a great day.